Yeah, I just wish that it was really sunny so I could put my sunglasses on and just generally feel a
and
little
as you
bit
said
more.
that, Joe, we went live, so we were now setting the scene. No, it's perfect. No, it's okay. I should have given you more. Hi, everybody. I did say that I would try and do this hangout somewhere around 12 o'clock. And we failed miserably, haven't we? What time is it? It's probably about half past. But that's the way it goes in at Blogstock. These things are movable feasts, and a lot of the sessions actually are very popular, and as a result, because they run over and blah blah blah. I'm with Joe Thomas, who's with me from KBC, representing
the Florida Keys and Key West, which is everyone eating key lime pie behind us, which has probably delayed this.
Yes, you can see in the background. They've got this splendid RV that they brought along, and they're giving away these huge amounts of key lime pie, which I'm going to actually partake of.
I did save you a bit.
in a while. And also Louise Whitfield, who's actually just joined us on a whim for a couple of seconds ago. I said, "Oh, do you come and talk about what you're doing here?" Louise is from Kuoni, and she's here basically interacting with bloggers. And I think last night, if I'm right, you had the Kuoni film show going on in the teepee, which is, I think I showed everybody yesterday. How did that go?
It was really, really good. We aimed for it to be really inspirational, and we got a lot of feedback, and apparently it did its job, so we're really happy.
And what was the purpose? Because you were showing YouTube videos.
Yeah, so we were showing YouTube and Vimeo videos from a number of different travel bloggers, or people who don't blog at all and just create travel videos. And we just wanted to inspire people who wanted to come to that session. We also wanted to, so part of the reason that Kuoni is here at Blogstock is that we want to work with bloggers more going forward, and 2016 and going forward, like video is going to be really important for us, so we definitely want to team up with some bloggers.
One of the big things about just put my hand in front of the mic so I can hear the wind on it. One of the big things about working with bloggers is this whole thing of transparency, and I think I'm right in saying that actually, all those Vimeo and YouTube things you were showing in there, they weren't campaigns that you had been working with. This was the opposition. This was, I think David Tootin said to me you had something from Expedia in there. I think, is that right? Or either way, but
no. We were actually going to have a video from STA in there, just because we love what they've been doing. But yeah, it is kind of along the same sort of authentic travel experiences theme, which we really love. And we're currently looking at a number of different companies, a number of different bloggers, just to see what we can really learn from it.
I was going to say Joe and I are old school, but I didn't really mean that. But what I do mean is that we, it's very noticeable, that sort of transition from traditional travel writers into blogging and vlogging, and the way that it is much more open and it is much more balanced, and we do, there isn't that kind of opposition. Okay, I'm working for one person one time and another person another time. No. Everybody knows what everybody's doing, and one of the good things with the bloggers do, and you must get this all the time, is that if you're talking to them about a particular project and they go, oh yeah, I can't do that data, I'm not. What they'll do is, but I know somebody who can. They'll always pass it on, and that's a. You find that presumably as well.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
makes a big difference.
Definitely.
The brands that you're representing here today, the Azores is one of them.
The Azores is one, and Capital Region USA as well. So we represent them as destinations, and so we, the last sort of couple of years, we've been getting a lot more inquiries from bloggers wanting support with their trips, airfare, activities, hotels, etc. So we're actually looking to do our first group blogging trip next year, and I think it's going to be pan-European for the Florida Keys. And we had Live Share Travel, a blogger out, Sarah Lee, that's here. She came out to the Keys in June.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, and we have a couple, one who's here as well, Happy Healthy. She is going to DC in a couple of weeks. So we're working on her visit at the moment as well. So.
And your clients, and these, I know that Florida, and I think also the Capital Region, you've had for ages.
Yeah.
As far as I remember. I'm not sure about Azores, whether that's a fairly new one, but are they all across blogging, and do they get it? Do they have, for example, blogger welcome programs or blogger outreach programs through you?
We sort of guide the clients quite a lot on it. In their markets, particularly in America, obviously they're all over bloggers. These are it's
Well,
slightly
Florida
different.
in particular.
Yeah, exactly.
Pete Sackham, the head of the Florida Tourist Board. I mean, he was their communications director for years and years and years, and it was he who more or less single-handedly rescued the tourism industry on the Gulf side after the BP spill by using social media and using it really cleverly, realizing that there were all these brand ambassadors in the form of people, Americans who traveled to Florida, and getting them to write about in real time the state of the beaches and all of that kind of thing. I think so they've always been ahead of the game.
Yeah, we're really lucky that our clients sort of get the value of hosting bloggers, and 3 years ago we actually did a blogging trip to the capital region where we had an adventure blogger and a lifestyle blogger, and they went around on 2 completely different itineraries, hitting completely different types of travellers. And the Florida Keys, they've done a group blogging trip a couple of months ago as well, just purely American based bloggers. So it's definitely something that our American clients are very much aware of and looking to support as well. So
Louise, I'm interested in the way that you're working with bloggers, because one of the characteristics of blogging has been that unlike traditional journalists, paid by the newspaper, work or a magazine or whatever it might be, work from the UK will go out somewhere and experience a trip, let's say a Kuoni trip, and come back. Typically with travel bloggers, they tend to be independent travelers, and they're out there traveling all the time. So it's a different way of working from a DMO, a destination marketing organization, tourist office, with a blogger, because they can just come along and go, soak up what the area has. But a blogger working with you actually has to sort of be following your program, as it were.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but I think our program's great in that we can pretty much tailor make anything that he really wants. So that actually works really well with bloggers. And I think for us, it's all about collaboration. We never sort of actively seek to push something onto them. It has to be a combination of what we're focusing on and also what they want to do, because at the end of the day, they're the people with ideas, they're the people with the know-how to know how that can translate into really good content, and that's really what we're after.
They're the storytellers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we might have our experts, but travel bloggers are experts as well.
What have been, would you say, your best collaborations?
So we did our first trip this year actually to the Caribbean with a group of hotels and resorts, and it worked really well. It wasn't even with travel bloggers; it was with wedding and honeymoon bloggers.
Oh right, okay.
And they were
they
were effectively passing the baton from island to island, but they were looking at real life weddings while they were happening there. So you had that real authentic sort of edge to what they were doing. It wasn't just we're going to this island, this is what we did. It was actually interacting with the people who were experiencing them.
It wasn't based around the couple who they've been doing, in effect, remarrying each other around the world in different cultures. They are. I can't remember their names. They are. If you ever get the chance, you'll have to Google it, because I can't remember their names. But if you talk wedding bloggers, that will probably find them. And what they do is they are very photogenic anyway. But they go around the world and they basically experience weddings in it'll be in Soweto, it'll be a traditional sort of African township wedding, and then it'll be in the Caribbean, or it'll be out in the South Pacific, or it'll be the wilds of the Yukon. It'll be with the Inuit or something like that. It's great stuff. It's a brilliant idea. They've been doing it for several years, and it works really well. But you didn't get it.
No, God, I wish. I wish we worked with the Follow Me Too couple as well on Instagram. Where I would love to, but
last year here, it was very noticeable. We had, I want to say Alexis Konstantinopoulos, but I'm not 100% confident of that, who's the marketing director for 1830s brand Kontiki, and he was speaking, and he was talking to the business of the power, particularly of video now, and that kind of work. When you get people who are really skilled, he was using boyfriend versus girlfriend, which is what made it trigger in my mind, and he gave this amazing stat, which was that the week that HBO screened the final episode of Game of Thrones series, or 4 it would have been then, I think, they got something like 8 million views of that, on that night. And in that same week, BF versus GF on an Australian road trip for Kontiki got 19 million
Wow.
views, and you go,
extraordinary.
that's how it's kind of
There you go.
that's how it's changing, and that's the impact. And you said earlier,
It's the power of online.
the video is for you is really now key.
Yeah, it's really important. We kicked off our sort of new brand feel with a TV ad that we did last year. It was called Run on Water, and it's this wonderful synchronized swimmer who's effectively running on water, but I can't really explain it. But she's sort of running like this, but it looks amazing, and it's that kind of extraordinary sort of disruptive video that we're looking for, because there's so much content out there. You really need to stand out, and we want to do that through expertise and just the authenticity of the video itself. It needs to look good, and that's what we're looking for.
Bringing us back here, actually, same question to you. Is that what kind of things are you actually looking for in bloggers? And
well, the social media is very important. It's not just obviously the number of visitors that they get to their blogs, it's this, the social media reach as well. Images say more than 1,000 words, obviously, so very nice images. We like our bloggers to be active on Instagram, particularly, as it's a massive growing form of social media here in the UK. And also video as well. It's always fun when we did a vlogging trip in June, and someone was around the Keys just making just on their phone, but it was still worked really well and edited really well. So
that imagery is very much
important.
the key. I was struck. There's a piece of research that Traverse, who are the team behind Blogstock, have been doing in the last few weeks, in which I was supposed to be presenting for them in the centre at 9:30, but nobody ever told anybody that we're going to do it later on. But one of the statistics that came out was what social media drives traffic to your blogs. Or to your blog, and it was interesting that in the pie chart that both Pinterest and Instagram came out pretty much in parallel, but certainly probably the second biggest influencer straight off after Twitter, which I think
believe
I think is absolutely. You've been here since yesterday. Have you run into any interesting bloggers, or have you any campaigns that have?
I've had a law blogger, and I've had a property blogger, and lots of travel and lifestyle. But, very different ones.
That is kind of interesting, because that would set you off on a completely different path, wouldn't it? Gosh, yes. No, that totally makes sense.
But that makes funny, obviously I'm used to speaking and interacting with travel bloggers, so it's nice to be people from different fields as well. So.
And you've got we ought to mention that you've now got a new client in the form of Utah
Office of Tourism,
which is a very cool. We were talking about that, actually. One of the rather nice things about the blogging world is that everybody knows each other, and it isn't competitive in the way that traditional media is. And the same is true pretty much up to the line for the PR industry. So we both know the person who used to have the account beforehand, and we were saying, she's been fantastic handing it over, but it must be really exciting to get hands in and trying to do something different. Do you have any ideas what kind of things you're going to be pushing?
We've got a few things in the pipeline. We announced the news 3 weeks ago, so we've just finalised the plan of work and everything like that. So it's very exciting, and some of the guys are off to Utah the next couple of weeks.
Now, haven't you?
Whilst a few of us have been and have worked in Utah before, but the team are really excited to get out there and experience a destination for themselves.
You've got at the bottom of Utah, you've got Lake Mead, isn't it? Which is a fantastic, and Bryce Canyon. Extraordinary landscapes.
The big 5 national parks. So we're looking forward to. One of the things that we will be doing is really pushing their social media in the UK, particularly their UK Facebook page and UK Twitter handle. So
let's get a drone.
Got some good ideas for that.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And the Bonneville was the other area I was thinking. Oh yes, that rings a bell. That's a very interesting area. Something you just mentioned there triggered in my mind. You've got product as well in that neck of the world. You've got product everywhere. I'm not even bothering to ask. But one of the other big differences with the blogging community is that, of course, again, unlike traditional journalism, you could say for a client, they might say to you, we want to get more people flying in from the flight from the north of England. And so you would go and find local newspapers in the north of England, source some journalists or whatever, and bust them out there. Blogging doesn't work like that because blogging is language based. It's not country based. So there are bloggers here. I know a lot of bloggers here who whose audiences it might be primarily in, they might be German bloggers and they're in English, or they might be Spanish bloggers and they're in English. That they
the best I had was a guy who lives in England, but his blog is from Morocco.
Yes, yeah. No, there's everyone. There's Sebastian Canavis. There's a German blogger who I think blogs now in 3 or is it 4 different languages. So but I'm wondering how that kind of comes into play with you. We've got, for example, Dan and Audrey here. Sam and Audrey. Dan and Audrey, a completely different couple. Sam and Audrey are Canadian video bloggers, and their audience is principally Canadian. So for you guys, I mean, this is of no interest at all, or? Well,
for the Keys, for the Florida Keys, we direct the PR for the whole of Europe. So we do look to, and this is the group blogging trip that we want to do this next year, to do a pan-European blogging trip, to get a blogger from each of the key different countries in Europe. But predominantly for the capital region and other clients, it is UK based followers. Yeah,
and for you, you're really
we're
interested.
looking UK
Even though
audience,
Kuoni is actually an international company.
It is.
There's Kuoni, Spain, and the rest of it, but they may market and do their own thing anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty siloed at the moment. So,
do you do bloggers who know you, UK bloggers, think, that's a bit unusual? I wouldn't have expected, because Kuoni's a very sort of I was going to say traditional, but classic tour operator. It's not it's not one of the sort of the young and happening Kon-Tiki style operators. Do you find they're surprised in the
so I've had a few one-to-ones, I've got one-to-ones throughout the day today, and a lot of them are just like, oh, you just do honeymoons, and we're like, no, actually, like we do all kinds of holidays. We do tailor-made, we do touring, we do fly and flop, we do all kinds. So it is, and it's really interesting because a few of them also, well, you just tailor everything to plus 50-year-olds. It's like, no, that's not the case at all. Like, and we're not even like truly massively expensive. We do offer that value, and people, it is about getting that message out, I think, a little bit more clearly, and we do.
Okay. Excellent. Right, guys, I think we'll leave it there. This will all get saved up as a YouTube video, so if you've missed it, blah blah blah. What I am going to do, I was hoping to talk to the guy from World Land Travel, whose name I keep forgetting. I think it's Greg. No, down.
You said Greg earlier.
Did I say Greg earlier? Yeah, I have a fixation on
the name Greg.
I did actually ask him earlier if he would come and talk to us. His name's Dan Bradbury. He's from the World Land Trust, and he was speaking earlier on, and I think that's a very interesting subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to close this hangout down, and then I'm going to go and grab Dan and bring him back and do another one. So do come back in about 5 minutes, and we'll try again. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks.
Right. Let's go.